a lot of us out here, and we're feminine too, so I mean it's not just a masculine career field.
People are starting to realize that our feeble girl brains are pretty good at picking up this knowledge.
Men or women, if you don't like craft beer, I want to change your mind.
On this edition of Orlando Sentinel Snapshot, we're meeting the women who are changing the future of beer in Orlando. Sarah Renee Nitsch is the assistant brewer at Wops Hops in Sanford. She starts her day brewing early.
It's a lot of repetitive tasks, and a lot of times that task has to involve a heavy object like a 55-pound bag of grain, which is easy for a while, but when you're doing it over and over again, it gets pretty taxing. And that's why I'm really glad Phil's here to help me out with some of those tasks.
Lead brewer Phil Mejia is training Sarah, and that's something she's used to.
The military is a pretty male-driven field as well, so I'm used to having a lot of male leaders in my life and a few solid female leaders, which is kind of what I'm experiencing right now.
Researchers at Auburn University found women account for 29% of brewery workers in the United States, but only make up about 4% of head brewers.
I'm not sure that I would say that we excel in any part better than men, but I think that we are very much their equal. When people think of a brewer, they think of like, you know, a Phil or some burly bearded guy who's like lugging bins of grain around. As far as brewing goes, you know, we definitely bring a creative eye to the process. You're going to find a lot of really creative recipes coming from the females that are brewing in the industry.
Sarah wants to open her own brewery one day and follow Gina Molines of Black Cauldron Brewing, who was the first to do it locally.
How is it being a woman in this industry? Do people judge you when they see you or hear that you're a woman?
I think the first thing that people are when they find out that I'm the head brewer is surprised.
She co-owns the brewery with her husband, but she's in charge of the brews.
People would always come up and ask my husband, like, oh, what kind of hops did you use in this? Or, oh, you know, questions about the beer. And he'd say, I don't know, ask her. And they'd look at me and go, no, I asked you what kind of hops you used. And he'd be like, ask her. And they'd be like, oh, okay.
Currently, there's only one other female head brewer in Central Florida. But when beer making began in ancient times, it was virtually only women who brewed. The Babylonians believed the goddess Ninkasi taught humans the secrets of brewing. In medieval times, female brewers were called brewsters or alewives, which is actually the name of a woman-owned brewery in Jacksonville. It wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that men started taking over. But the modern art of blogging brought one woman back into the beer industry.
I've always wanted a blog, so one day I was just drinking a beer and I thought, why not start writing about it? That's what I like to do. I like to drink beer. It's like a match made in heaven.
Ashley Grimm runs Blonde Brew Reviews, where she writes about craft beer.
I actually have people that tell me they really like my posts, which I never thought that they would.
Ashley spends a lot of time in breweries, and she's noticed a trend.
Every time I've been into a brewery, I always see men back there brewing, and I'm like, oh, that's cool too, but like a woman that can brew, that's not something you see every day, and hopefully that will change.
According to the Brewers Association, women consume 25% of all craft beer in the U.S., although men of drinking age are close to 3 times more likely to drink beer weekly than adult women. National groups like the Pink Boots Society, Barley's Angels, and Girls Pint Out are meant to embolden women to both enjoy craft beer and break into the industry.
If someone was interested or thinking about getting involved in craft beer, whether drinking it or getting involved in the industry as a woman, what would you tell them?
Well, the first thing I would tell them, if you're interested in brewing, join your local homebrew club. They're wonderful resources. You meet once a month, you bring your beers in, and you have all of these people at your fingertips, and they want to do nothing but help.
You just gotta find that one beer and it'll lead you, like it'll kind of be a gateway to trying a whole bunch of other beers. So that's kind of what happened to me.
If I were to meet another woman who'd be interested in getting her feet wet, I'd tell her to just go for it because there's going to be such a huge support system behind her.
As more women cozy up to craft beer and the industry that produces it, breaking the pint glass ceiling is just a sip away. For OrlandoSentinel.com, I'm Kayla O'Brien.